Hello. In this tutorial, we will create a very simple agent that collects data from the user. Once you log into your dashboard, you will be taken into your workspace. It is in here where you can create your first agent. You can choose from a list of templates to use as a starting point, or you can start from scratch. For this example, we are going to start with a new agent from scratch. Next, we are taken into the flow editor where all the building blocks are placed. Building blocks are divided into agent dialog for displaying data, user inputs for obtaining data, logic for operations and conditions, AI agents for integration with large language models, integrations for integrating with external tools like Zapier. We will start with a text block to display a welcome message. Groups are created to hold your agent blocks. Now we can include a user input block called text. This will allow us to collect the user's name. We can then save the input into a variable for later use. We can display back the content of variables by using the text block and selecting the recently created variable from the variables menu. Next, we will add an email block so we can capture the user's email. We will also save it to a variable for later use. You can check the list of created variables by clicking on the Variables side menu. Next, we can create a menu using the button choice block. This will allow is to create different options that the user can choose from. In this case, each option will take the user into a separate path on the agent's flow. In Once option, we will ask the user for more information. On the next option, we can redirect the user to visit a website. At any point in time, we can save our agent by clicking on the agent name. In this dialog box, we can set the agent's name, URL, and optionally create a tag to organize your agents. Once you click on Save and Publish, the agent can be accessed publicly. If we want to test our flow privately, we can click on the flow simulator on the top right corner. This will trigger the flow, and we can provide test data. Keep in mind that the results from these test runs are not saved into our submission table. Only when you run the agent from the public URL, results will be saved. Once your agent runs on the public URL, all variables will be placed on the submission table. To open the public URL, click on the Open URL button on the top right corner next to the Publish button. Once you run the public agent, it will collect the information and it will be saved on the submission table. This was just a simple example of how to run your first agent. There are endless possibilities once you start combining the agent's blocks and integrations.